Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 1 of a best of 3 between a.Lennart and Cadilakor, and this is round 2 of the Great Paradox Tourney. So we haven't seen Lennart before in the tournament so far, and that's because in round 1 he was actually given a bye because his opponent didn't play. So he's moved straight on to round 2 because of that, and is up against Cadilakor, who beat the man who changed Korea in a 2-0 sweep, which was really good, and those were some really awesome games as well. So well played to Cadilakor to make it to round 2, but I know that Lennart is an experienced player, so he's definitely going to have a challenge on his hands in this one. But this is Carpiquet Duellists, the map, and should be a pretty nice battlefield. 1,200 meter range engagements all over the shop in this one, and Lennart has chosen the 2nd Infantry in order to approach that, and Cadilakor the 12th SS Panzer. So both of these divisions in Phase A have their sort of remedies to this engagement range. The 2nd Infantry have, I believe, an M5 gun available to them in Phase A that they can use with 1,200 meter range. They also have the M7DDs, which use HE at 1,200 meter range. In the same vein, on the 12th SS, we have the Beuter Firefly for AP at 1,200 meter range, and the Beuter Cromwell for HE at 1,200 meter range. So it looks like for Cadilakor, what's going to go down is a bunch of rifles, or a bunch of Panzer Grenadiers, moving out, taking strategic positions across the map, and then he'll be pushing on the bottom side with this Beuter Cromwell, Beuter Firefly combination, which works out very well. Got some recon to lead the charge there with the SBW 223 to provide some veterancy to those vehicles. 259 also approaching the top side, which definitely could do a lot of damage to the 2nd Infantry if they don't supply an AT gun. And it looks like Lennart hasn't yet up here, however will have access to the Ranger Marauders, which in an open map like this can catch you out quite a lot, because especially with all of these little bushes in the airfield here, if you use smoke to help them advance, those Ranger Marauders can get into really annoying positions whereby you'd be coming down this road and there's like a Ranger Marauder like sitting in one of these bushes, and they just like bazooka you in the side and you lose your unit. But anyway, on the bottom side, M7DD is going to be coming out at the start. That GMC might be carrying the M5 gun as well. Then we have 2 units of rifles there with the Ranger Leader. We've also got the Ranger 30 cal and what looks like maybe a Ranger Support unit or a Ranger Assault unit. In the centre, it's just going to be recon and a rifles to hold the front line forwards. And we already had a look at the units at the top side there. So let's just speed up this deployment, get it underway. But in general, I feel like if the M5 gun and the Priest bump into the Firefly and the Beuter Cromwell, then it's really going to be down to Cadilakor to make sure that his Cromwell kills off the M5 gun so that his Beuter Firefly can safely take on the Priest. And when that's done, he should have an overwhelming advantage on the bottom side of the map. So we'll see if that comes about during the game. Let me just zoom in on this GMC. Actually, we can see exactly what gun it is, and it is indeed an M5 gun. Nice message there from Lennart for the casters. And by the way, guys, if you didn't already know, Rangru and Khan do dual commentaries on their channel, so make sure you go check those out because they are very cool as well and provide a different insight to myself about each of these games. But anyway, Panzergrens are coming in at the top side, 259 there, going to be rolling up, and we'll have to see if that can do some damage to the infantry, since, like I mentioned before, there is no AT gun on the top side, which could be a little bit of a mistake for Lennart. Again, if Cadilakor takes advantage of it, or if this 4 GPA goes down before the Ranger Marauders unload, that could have been very bad indeed. But fortunately, those GPAs do have 2 armor, so 4 AP is going to take a little while to penetrate, and it seems as though the Ranger Marauders are getting into a pretty nice position there. There is no recon to spot these as well, So that could easily turn into an ambush on the top side. In the bottom, however, a.Lennart's managed to get his forces into a pretty nice position here. Especially if he can, you know, occupy these bunkers, because it pushes the territory well over 50%. Like having this Jeep 30 cal in the middle of the airfield here as well really helps out with that as well. Like, there's no recon that can spot that at the moment. I don't think Cadilakor can see it. No, he can't. Whereas if he had some recon, he could see this Jeep 30 cal, and if he killed it, then a huge salient would form, which would actually give him the advantage early on. M5 gun has revealed itself to the Panzer Grenadiers, so Cadilakor is going to know that is there. Rifles have engaged the Panzer Grens, and we do see the Ranger Marauders moving up. Will they reveal themselves though? I don't think they will. And I don't think a.Lennart really needs to. It would be nice for him to just keep that there so that in the future the vehicles that move on the top side get ambushed. And meanwhile on the bottom side we are seeing the rifles being attacked quite heavily by the Boyd Cromwell. The M5 gun is almost in range of the Firefly and the Cromwell there, but is actually aiming at the Speedthrope instead. a.Lennart's going to have to micro this. It seems as though he's turned off his HE in order to do so, and he one shot bailed out the Boyd Cromwell with no veterancy. Second shot gets the kill. That is massive for a.Lennart. That is exactly what he needs to do with this M5 gun, and by achieving that, the Boyd Firefly can't do anything. The 223 probably should stay behind that hangar. It doesn't want to move in line of sight. That's crazy. Really, really well done there by a.Lennart getting that shot in there. Bit careless by Cadilakor for letting it happen, however. Panzergrens looks like they moved into this tree line here and spotted the Ranger Marauders, and the 259 has taken those out. So there's that. Rifles want to attack, but loads of return fire orders here for a.Lennart. These rifles can see the Panzergrens in the middle of the airfield there. And my god, it's just such a shame that that Boyd Cromwell has gone down, because as you can see, a.Lennart's going to be able to take full advantage of that now. There's not too much to stop him. He will start to see the mortar come in soon. Probably already saw it on the way and is revealing it currently. And that mortar needs to kill off the M5 gun if any more armor wants to come in to help.
Let's get out of here.
But it is falling back. Can the shots land where they need to? Currently, I would say no. So it looks like the M5 gun may survive today with 2 health for now. Panzergrens revealed the rifles there. They are going to actually start running them down. The Panzergrens in the mid might bump into the recon squad here as well. However, it seems as though a Bofors has been invested upon by a.Lennart in order to pin down the Panzergrens in the open. So that's quite a nice choice, because he can see that there's pretty much only Panzergrens here. a.Lennart has a great line of sight on this airfield due to this recon in the middle, and up on the top side the M4DD just destroyed a Panzergren squad for free. That is pretty big, and definitely, you know, relieves the pressure up there for a little while longer. But what I would like to see is these Panzergrens almost continuing to push forwards, because then they will eventually spot the Jeep 30 cal, and then the Boyd Firefly might be able to roll on round and take it out. Or even just one of these like 259s or something. It looks like the 259 is going to be moving to the middle of the airfield to directly engage the Bofors and kill that. Panzergrens have found the Jeep 30 cal, and well, they're just going to be able to kill it themselves with the MGs. On this bottom side, however, M7 attacking the 259 is going to be smoked off by the 257. This 259 needs to be careful that it doesn't go too close to the Rangers' ports here, because otherwise the grenades start coming out. And you can see that's what's happening here. If a.Lennart micros this properly, he could just continuously throw grenades and kill that, which is exactly what just happened. Now, for those of you who don't know, infantry at 50-meter range do have grenades which can kill open-top vehicles, so be wary of that. Panzergrenadiers, though, finally finding the recon here, but are going to be pinned by the Bofors. And just about saving the recon's life there, and it looks like the 259 was also forced back by the Bofors. Panzergrenadiers are being killed on the top, and the Panzergrenadier Führer looks like it's going to be soon to follow. What's this boy to Firefly aiming at? I can't really tell. It must have line of sight onto a vehicle of some sort, unless it was going to use its machine gun to attack the rifles. But currently, the Firefly moving up is going to be in line of sight of the M4DD. Can the M4 find a penetrating shot? That is the question, because 11 AP versus 11 armor is not going to end well. 16 AP against 10 armor though. Cadilakor has a very good chance of penetration, and the first shot getting the weapon damage is actually really nice because it allows the 259 to charge that down, which is exactly what is going to happen. On this top or bottom side, the 257 got killed. The mortar is dead. It looks like it moved in range of this M1 gun, or at least in line of sight, and got itself killed. That is a huge mistake by Cadilakor. He's lost his boy to Cromwell, he's lost his mortar carrier. That's going to make things incredibly difficult now, moving forwards. Fortunately, there is this half-track down here, which prevents the Ranger supports from moving out in the open. But that didn't stop the Panzergrenadiers from taking an absolute ton of damage. And now the M4 is dead on this top side, but there is an M1 gun waiting in ambush to kill the Firefly. Ooh, almost gets the shot off there. He was waiting for the side armor to show. Now it's just a matter of reversing directly away from the M1 gun. But I don't think there's going to be another mortar for a little while, because often with the 12th SS, like especially the way that I build my division, I only bring one mortar in phase A. So Cadilakor losing his mortar definitely puts him in a pretty bad position. So it's going to be down to whether or not he can use his 259s effectively alongside recon. I would like to see some more recon in the middle of the map at least. a.Lennart should probably end up replacing his recon here as well, especially with them being killed like that. But still a 50-50 here. a.Lennart is in the lead with 265 points, as he did have the +1 for a little while. However, if this Panzergrenadier is dealt with, then what's going to happen is a huge gap is going to end up opening in the middle. Ranger Marauders are being brought up to the top side. They're trying to move into a position where they can Zuka the 259. Looks like Cadilakor is well aware of that and doesn't want that to happen, so currently retreating. Both the units of Panzergrenadiers on the airfield though are pinned down, and one is currently falling back. And on the bottom side, the half-track still holding the ground, but the Panzergrenadiers that were in these hangars have been forced back. 222 is arriving with some recon for the bottom side. And it's just a matter of dislodging these Ranger supports, but a.Lennart is microing them very, very well at the moment, keeping them out of line of sight where he can. There he just moved them out and into the house, so it breaks the line of sight and puts them into stealth again, and then chucked them on to return fire so they don't reveal themselves. So a command unit going to be going down on the top side. Panzergrenadiers plus their half-tracks now engaging the 30 cals, but I feel like Cadilakor has a long way to go up here. Like, it's all very well using these 259s, but as soon as this M1 gun opens and starts popping these half-tracks, a.Lennart's going to be in an amazing position. There we go. One shot, one kill onto a half-track. Only a matter of time until he kills another half-track. Or even the 259 there. Got plenty of shots. So you'd expect him to hit something. But it seems the 1-star AT gun is going to let him down this time around. So at the bottom here, the half-track has moved in to try and make these rifles surrender, I believe. But the Ranger leader is on the case, so that's no problem at all. And it looks like a.Lennart is going to try and use the 20 HE power grenade here to blow up the half-track, but Cadilakor is not going to let that happen. 222 is moving in now with its own autocannon, and that might find the Ranger leader at some point, especially with the Aufkläder moving in on this bottom side. Now at the top here, both of these 259s are very low on ammunition. I think they both ran out of 20mm ammunition at least. So they are solely relying on their machine guns, and that is not good, especially with an M4A1 arriving. The M4A1 can kill off both of those very convincingly. But we have moved into Phase B now. So Cadilakor does have access to Panther Ds. He also has access to the Tiger. So whether or not these can be used to great effect in the mid game is really up to Cadilakor. He can't allow this to go down to like a random AT gun or something, or he's going to be in a really bad spot. Ranger Marauder's being killed there though by the Panzergrenz is really nice indeed, and it seems as though the 259 on the road outstayed its welcome and got itself killed, and the M4A1 here moving up to kill the second one. So still 50-50, but in general the disparity is very much in favour of a.Lennart, as he has many more units on the map, and the M5 gun there just about managed to pick off that half track, which will help out the rifles and Ranger leader in that bottom side. Focke-Wulf 190G1 coming in with its 25 HE power bomb is just going to blow up that M1 gun. But ideally what he wants to do is find the kill onto the M5 gun, because that's something that could actually seriously harm the Panther D. Panzergrenz though are very nice and have been working so far. Thunderbolt's going to be coming in with its 15 HE power bomb and going for a bomb onto the Panther D. And that didn't quite force the Panther D to fall back, but definitely did a lot of morale damage, which reduces the accuracy quite significantly. And a.Lennart has found himself a +1 once again. So we've moved into 51% territory lead, especially now he is actually taking control of these hangars, but he definitely needs more infantry down here, like a couple rifle squads, just to keep the push going. Because currently his Ranger support squad here is on 1 health, and the rifle squad only 4 health, and the Ranger leader's actually run out of 20 HE power grenades. So in the airfield, or like in the middle of the airfield, the Thunderbolt is able to strafe these Panzergrenz after they've been spotted by the rifles. But both players kind of neglecting their recon in the middle of the map now, which is a shame, because a.Lennart's recon here, the actual recon squad, was spotting a lot throughout this game. Panzergrenz here, however, have found line of sight onto the M1 gun, or M5 gun, and that 9 HE from the MG42 could get the kill, honestly. It's more like 4.5 HE because there's only 1 man left, but still. M5 gun has got to be careful, especially now that it's engaging with the Panther D, and it has been pinned down, so that's likely to be a kill in favour of Cadilakor. And Cadilakor removing that M5 gun as a threat does allow him to maybe try and move into line of sight this M7 Double D now, or even the M10 destroyer. Another boat is brought in before up to the top side, and that's going to start hammering onto the grenadiers here with the help of the M4A1. And if this was a tank that could aim at things like Bofors, then I feel like a.Lennart would be in a pretty hard spot. But currently, because it's just a Firefly, it's no problem whatsoever. Look who's coming. It's Whitman, everybody. He's decided to join us on this merry day, and he is rolling towards the airfield. We'll have to wait and see what kind of destruction he can bring. But if he finds line of sight onto the M1 gun, that could be a very dead bunch of units in the top side for Lennart. In the bottom side, Panther D, it's got its new contender, the M10 destroyer. Can Lennart micro that properly in order to kill the Panther D? That's what I'm waiting to see here. Cadilakor does know it's coming, so that's good. It's just a matter of how they play around each other now, because the M10 actually has a pretty damn slow aim time at close range, but so does the Panther D. So both of them should be pretty equally matched, but a Focke-Wulf 190 going to be coming in there with the 25 HE power bomb, and if it's making the M10 fall back, then the Panther D could move forwards and try and rush it down. However, currently we have the rifle leader here trying to use its bazooka to kill the Panther D. Missed 2 of its Zuka shots, which is absolutely tragic for Lennart, because the Panther D is going to survive for now. Whitman is coming onto the main airfield, and it looks as though Cadilakor will probably try and kill off these Bofors so that he can move across the airfield once again with the Panzer Grenadiers, because in 1v1 Panzer Grenadiers do tend to beat rifles due to the high HE that they can put out. And in this case, just showing that rifles get pinned down very, very quickly indeed. M4 has arrived though to back up the M10. And it's just a matter of time really until the M10 has to engage the Panther D, because I feel like Cadilakor is just looking for line of sight to make that work. Now we have Recon coming into the mid to basically show Whitman what to shoot at. And we still have the Firefly here. Still not quite in range of the M1 gun though. I reckon when it is, however, Lennart might try and take advantage of that. Especially if the Firefly shows its side armor, he can just turn off return fire and go for that kill. That Bofors revealing itself by attacking the Panzergrens is really bad, because Whitman here has 5 HE on his main shell and will do a lot of damage to that Bofors, and that is quite a large amount of points lost. Now Cadilakor needs to come down and do the same for this Bofors and maybe even kill off the Duck, and that would damage the supplies that the 2nd Infantry have as well. Jagdpanzer is on the way, and as we continue into this game, I kind of feel like the 12th SS just gets a bigger and bigger advantage. However, it's just a matter of whether or not Lennart can pick up some important kills with his AT guns. Because if he brings in like these M5 guns like he has, and then picks off something like a Panther D or a Jagdpanzer, he can sleep happy knowing that he's done that. However, if he brings in the M5 guns and they get destroyed by the tanks they're trying to kill, then he's going to be in an extremely bad position, and it could lead to the point where Cadilakor will overrun Lennart, even though currently Cadilakor is sitting in a pretty bad position. But either way, P-38 Lightning going to be coming in there and strafing the Panzergrens on the airfield. Speedtroop have moved up here as well, however are being harassed by the rifles and the M5 gun. And that's not really that good for Lennart, because he probably doesn't want this M5 gun revealing itself just by attacking some Speedtroop. But if it's doing damage, then that's fine, because at least he might be able to take control of this next hangar complex, and if he continues to do that, well, eventually he's going to be at +2, because 55% territory lead now for Lennart. So the tank combo arriving, Jagdpanzer and the Panther D. They're both heading towards the bottom side of the runway. Whitman is starting to smash these rifles. But what I would like Cadilakor to do at this point is start to build up on a pretty nice push. However, I feel like as soon as he does, especially if he does it up here, the AT guns of Lennart will do a lot of damage and possibly get some good kills, because currently this Firefly is just strolling on forwards, and if at any point at that range the Firefly shows its side armor, it's gonna die pretty damn quick. Fair engagement occurring. It's like P-38 Lightning and P-47 Thunderbolts versus the ME-109 G6R6 2-star and the Focke-Wulf 190G1. Down on this bottom side, M10 has been killed. However, it looks like the Panther went down as well. There is no more Panther on this bottom side. Unless that's the same Panther as this one. But up here, the Fireflies died to the M5 gun and the M1 gun. So still a +1 for Lennart. Losing that Firefly is pretty devastating, honestly. More infantry has almost found its way into this compound, and if he does use the Flampanzer correctly, that could work out very well in his favour. However, not today, as the M1 gun is going to take it out. Also, the M4A1 could have snuck out and shot at it anyway, so not entirely sure how effective that would have been either way. But the M5 gun is currently engaging the Jagdpanzer IV. That's an absolutely fine engagement actually, because the M5 gun at that range has 14 AP and the Jagdpanzer has 14 armor, so easy peasy. Just mustn't show its side armor to the AT gun, otherwise he's going to be in a bad spot. Now again, this is all down to recon really, because that Jagdpanzer was firing at the M5 gun because it revealed itself, but in general you should probably have some recon here to spot that all the time. You don't want to be fire positioning really if you don't have to. But that's going to work out this time round, as the M5 gun does die to the Jagdpanzer IV, so really well done there. Some Spear Troop getting pretty damn close to this M10 destroyer and the M5 gun, and they get obliterated. And there goes another Panzergrenadier in the top side. So things really starting to build up now. Cadilakor was relying on the larger tanks. However, it seems that the Fireflies died here, and also now the Panther or Tiger Whitman has lost his tank, and that's not good. Must have occurred because of like an M1 gun, or maybe the M5 gun and the M10 shot at it at the same time and one of them got a side shot. That might have been the case as well. Down on the bottom side, the rifles are engaging the Panzergrens, but don't want to be in range of the Flampanzer, so are doing a quick runner. But this is an opportunity where the Flampanzer might be able to just remove some of these units from the hangars. Looks like Lennart's on the case though with the M4DD, and will destroy that Flampanzer. Anthony cleaning up another unit of rifles, but things aren't getting any better anytime soon. And we're getting very close to 1,000 points for Lennart. Really well played in the early phase, taking out that Cromwell and using the M5 gun to so much effect. It really helped out, and you can see the dominating presence that Lennart has on the bottom side of the map. Now there was always the chance for Cadilakor to come back, especially with his heavier armor coming in phase B, but now it's looking pretty dire. He needs to try and find the engagement of the Panther D onto the 2-star M10, and then he will need his recon to spot the M1 gun or the M5 gun and work around that. The Panther D taking shots at the Bofors. Bofors looks like it just moved out of line of sight, so the Panther continues to move forwards. Panzergrens are just about holding in the bottom side, but as soon as they go, this is going to be dreadful for Cadilakor. He's in a pretty damn bad position, bringing up a Panzer IV-H to take on the M7 and the M4. Now if he could use the M7 to engage, or the Panzer IV to engage the M7, then that would work out very well for Cadilakor. Just got to be careful that he doesn't let these infantry get attacked a lot by the M4 or the M7, because that's just not what he's looking for right now. Fortunately, because they're moving from right to left, it's taken a while for the M7 to actually aim. But as soon as they stop, they're going to do a lot of damage. Double bombing strike coming down into the mid. That's going to force the Panther D to fall back and allow the M10 to pretty much chase down. On the bottom side, we saw the M4 Double D die to an airstrike from Cadilakor. But it seems like that's pretty much it. After 26 minutes and 34 seconds, Cadilakor has actually given up on this game, and that's a shame. I feel like Cadilakor still possibly had a chance to come back a little bit more in the Phase C and the rest of the game, but I guess the disparity was definitely starting to show. Even from a player's perspective, it would be very easy for you to realize how little forces you have and therefore assume that your opponent has way more. And that's kind of exactly how it was with the kill losses. You can see 2,065 kills to 1,195 losses for Lennart. Fantastic job. If we jump over to kills, this M5 gun taking out the Boy to Cromwell was very important. We saw the Ranger support take out one of the 259s as well. M1 gun on the top took out Flampanzer Boy to Firefly at close range. M4A1, really nice choice for dealing with these light armoured half-tracks. And the M10 did get a kill onto Whitman and killed the Verbelwind as well. Fantastic. So very nicely spread kills there for Lennart. In terms of losses, well, the Boy to Firefly did kill an M4 Double D and the Bofors. And we also saw the Focke-Wulf 190s come in and kill off the M1 gun there, and this Panther D took out an M5 gun. However, my main issue with how the 12th SS was played was just losing the important units carelessly. And that really cost Cadilakor during this game. There you have it. That's pretty much it for game 1 of the best of 3 between Lennart and Cadilakor. Cadilakor's going to have to do a lot better in the second game if he wants to move on to round 3. But in the meantime, that's all. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.